Today I want to introduce to everyone a new class of software engineer. I call it the C3 software engineer. This software engineer has 3 traits that make them incredible. Number 1, they're curious. Number 2, they're collaborative. Number 3, they're consistent. So number 1, curious. This is someone who's always up to date with some new tech or trend. When you ask them what's going on, they're passionate. You can just see in their face, you can see how they describe something. They kind of always looking for dots to connect, seeing how the work is relevant to what they're doing today, and they're excited to share. Maybe they'll post on LinkedIn, maybe they'll post on update their GitHub, maybe they'll put a YouTube video on what they're learning and what they've discovered, or a technical blog and some code that they've recently figured out, kind of like a code journal. And so this is the traits and attributes of someone who is curious. Now, number 2 is collaborative. This is someone who doesn't have the word I in their vocabulary. It's all about we. They understand that they have stakeholders, teammates, and customers. It's not just their code, but who's the next person that's going to read and upkeep what they have put together. This is someone who is eager to ask questions, to give feedback, and get feedback. This is someone who generally, just by the way they operate, gets a lot of visibility, gets a lot of impact. And so when you combine curiosity and collaborative natures, incredible things happen. And the last thing I want to mention is consistency, especially for the younger generation and Gen Z. We always like doing the least amount of work to get the most amount of output, which is great, but consistency is very important. And so consistency basically means you might be working on something that doesn't have too much documentation. While it might take you longer, you figure out how to get through it and get that done in the same amount of deadline. You're able to work in high pressure team environments and deliver again, and again. When you think about NBA and the NFL and even all sports teams, you're going to notice the stats are very important. Someone who is consistent is incredible to topple. Someone who shows up in, again and again is someone who any company is going to have a very, very hard time ever letting go. Because this is the definition of a 10x engineer. AI is not going to replace a software engineer, but software engineers who use AI will replace software engineers who don't, because their time is worth a lot more.